Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. This is my 90-year-old grandmother. She's never been to Lansing before. First time.
Welcome, ma'am. What is her name?
Dolly Reed.
Ms. Reed, welcome to Lansing. And you have the red button on, sir?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm her caregiver. She lives with me. The bill's been in her name since 1947. Never had a problem. Never not paid a bill, never not done anything wrong. They first cut it off on Columbus Day. It took 18 hours to get it back on, first time. They said it was a mistake because what had happened was there was a power outage in our neighborhood also. Fine. I see a little card in the door, fine. They turned the power back on. Then I got a message on Tuesday telling us that it was a mistake. Your power will be shut off by the end of the day at 9 a.m. that morning on Tuesday, it was the 10th. They said they'll cut the power off. 2.5 weeks later, finally they cut it off again. They cut it off on the 28th of October. We did not have power again until the 14th of November. We don't usually turn our heat on until first week of November, usually. She's a hardy person. We cool down, so we chill down. She's from Kentucky. And we've paid our bill. The only thing we did is lock up our meter. And I was told by DTE that they were going to, if they put a meter on my house, which there's no way in heck they could, because I'm from Southeast Detroit, so I know how to lock things down. I took a lawnmower deck, cut 2 holes in it, put it over the top of it. I put 8 locks on it with truck chain, 14-foot truck chain. I'm not kidding. I've got 5 locks behind it, and I've got 8 locks in front of it. They'd have to blow the house up before they get the damn thing off. So when they told me they cut it off at the pole, fine, they cut it off at the pole. And they said to me, I had many representatives tell me, on that day they cut it off, I called them up on the 28th, said, hey, she's a senior citizen, you cut her power off again, it's cold, you want her to freeze to death? They says, well, you get this meter or she's gonna. And it's like, if I were you, I would get the meter and worry about it later. She's got the beginnings of Alzheimer's. We don't know. Once memories go from your head, they don't come back. I've heard of people, and I'm just hearing, people that have heart problems, who have blood pressure problems, who have diabetes, all that can be managed after the fact. But brain, I was told, we don't care. We don't care about you. They put me on hold. This is their office thing. They told me that was a Saturday. They told me, oh yeah, I was on hold for 2 hours and 45 minutes. I called back and they said, that office is closed today. I had Muzak in my ear for 2.5 hours and I fell asleep twice. And then I called up and they says, oh, that department's closed on the weekend. I don't know who transferred you. But everyone just basically puts their hands up and says, forget it. And I had a friend down in Texas that told me, this is down there, it's illegal to shut off someone's air conditioning because of the health risks. I didn't know that we had a law up here that says after November the 1st, I first heard it here today, because I didn't even know it through the smart meter people, that November, you can't shut off their power. She's a senior citizen, she's 90 years old. I'm 48, she's 90. She said she would rather burn the house down than to get this damn meter. I told them we heated our house with the stove because we have an electric stove, so we have to turn it on with matches. We have to boil water on the stove because you can't use the oven, because the oven now is connected to the electronic part, so you can't use the oven like back in the day when we were kids. You'd open the door and you'd have heat. Can't do that. And consumers is going to I'm with DTE, consumers is going to wind up having the same thing with their gas aspect in years to come. But we couldn't turn on the furnace because you got electric starters because you don't want a standing pilot. So we didn't have heat for 2.5 weeks. And then they called me on the Monday before they restored it, on the 13th. They said, "Are you going to take our meter?" And it's like a bully saying, "Excuse me, you're going to take our meter now? We put you in the cold for 2.5 weeks. Are you going to take it now?" I said, "No." Didn't hear nothing back from them. Said, "You got our answer." They harassed us for about 2.5 weeks with robocalls and everything else. And finally they said, "Well, we'll close the case." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." I said, "Leave the meter off. Goodbye. We'll burn wood. We'll do whatever we have to do. We'll get through the winter." She said she's going to get through the winter. That Tuesday, I walked by the refrigerator. All of a sudden, I hear some noise. It's the compressor going off. And I'm like, I open the door, and I'm like, power's back on. How the heck did that happen? We didn't have any food in the refrigerator, but hey, the thing is that DTE should not be able to get away with any of this crap. She's a 90-year-old person. Where is this law? I didn't even feel in coming up here because realistically, I've never talked to a legislator because it doesn't, most of the time, nothing works. You might as well just talk to the air because DTE, I talked to dozens of people and they said basically, they sent you this they have a red flag number, basically. They put a red flag on your account and you could only talk to this 841 number. And they say, "Do you want the meter or not? Which meter do you want? Do you want the one that doesn't have the radio in it or the other one?" And I said, "I don't want either." And they says, "Well, you don't have that choice." I thought this was America. I thought we had a choice. She's been a DTE customer since 1947. She doesn't pay a lot, but what she pays it every month. She's on budget. And it's just terrible because basically DTE told me that if they did get a meter on my house, which they never will, they said our meters are only rated for 5 years. The analog meters, they say we're only for 5 years. I'm like, excuse me, I've never heard of one dying. My house is 42 years old and that's the original meter that was installed in 1972. And they said, no, they only last for 5 years. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Wally, we want to provide time for everybody else that's
I know.
come.
Thank you.
And appreciate your testimony.
Thank you.
And again, ma'am, welcome to Lansing.
She's hard of hearing.
Okay.
He says, "Welcome to Lansing."
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Come on.
Janine.